issue and I was joining. Definitely good to see everyone here this morning. If it's morning for you, good morning. If it's later, I hope you're having a good day so far. While we wait for everyone to show up, definitely curious. Just react if you've already voted. In this period's governance, have you already voted? I'm super curious. And it looks like about half of us have already voted, which is pretty awesome. We've definitely voted ourselves as well, and we're so far it looks like let me pull it up right now. I looked last night, but might as well pull up the most current results while we wait for folks to check in. So yeah, right now already 1 billion algos have voted, and about 16,000 governors have voted. And as of right now, it looks like keeping the status quo is actually the oh, this is super interesting. Oh, and
looks like we might have lost Riley for a second. But yeah, definitely looking at the current status of these measures, it looks a lot different than it did yesterday. So that's pretty interesting.
all right, let's
I have
go for it, AP.
I have seen a thread maybe in in Discord. Saying that not in Discord, but in I think our Algorand official Reddit post. So saying that maybe 4 addresses with I think a huge amount of algo has voted, and that has resulted in this change. Like yesterday morning Indian Standard Time, I was looking at the voting patterns, and it was I think very different. So I think in 24 hours, maybe like 1,000 people have voted and the tables have turned. But I think it is still only half of the people, right? I think it is 32K governors that are already there, and only 16K have voted.
Yeah, there's still definitely a lot of folks that need to vote, and yeah, no, I disconnected because I saw IRL sent us a message, and I thought they DM'd me, but it was the GARD account, so it disconnected me. But they wanted to go over how to vote. I'm sure you saw it too, Ryan, but they wanted to go over how to vote on our platform if you've committed through our platform, and so we can definitely do that. And it's pretty simple. Fortunately, there's a tab on our platform that says Algo Governance, and so if you click on that, it will show it'll essentially show which positions you have that you committed to governance, right? And then you'll be able to vote right there. And then afterwards, you can even check, to make sure your vote went through or not by pulling up the actual official Algorand governance page from there. And if you if that didn't make any sense, just or if you can't get it done in the next 5-10 minutes, definitely request to speak and we can try to go over that. But you can also hop in our Telegram or hop in the Discord, whatever is easiest for you.
Yeah,
or just DM us, I guess.
another way to confirm that it went through is if you look at the dashboard after you voted, obviously check out the governance page. That's the best place to look. But you should also see it in your transaction history on the dashboard. If you scroll down beyond the graphs, you'll see something with a description that says vote, and it'll say fees paid like 0.002 algos on the date that you voted. So if you use our platform, verify with the Algorand website, verify in your transaction history, you should be good to go. But definitely happy to help if you have any specific questions or want us to explain in more depth.
So is there a YouTube video maybe like available in like with GARD that you can share so that like everybody will get an understanding? It will be self-explanatory, right? And it will be much more easier, I think, for people from different time zones. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm honestly not sure if we actually have voting. Yeah, we actually have an old video on the bottom of our tutorials page. So if you go to our site, algogard.com, hover over about, go to tutorials. That last item is titled Participating in Algorand Governance. Our UI looks a little bit different from them, so I guess we could definitely make another video and put that out and share with the community so that folks who are using our V1 and might have questions about voting can do so with ease. We are also launching our V2, at least on testnet, very, very, very soon. So a lot of this content and tutorial stuff will be revamped. But I think that's a great suggestion, especially as it's time to vote now. We can definitely make it more streamlined for you all. So happy to do so.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Definitely. Oh, hey, how's it going, Albert?
Hi. So you basically just answered my question already, but I had another one. Concerning the staking on Algo Stake. Is that coming back by any chance?
Hey, yeah. So we actually moved to Cometa, and we definitely posted it in our Discord and Telegram, and we're actually today we have a bigger post we're putting out on Twitter. Like we had it scheduled for after this space. So yeah, staking's gonna be on Cometa for now. In general, we have some plans to to potentially partner with other platforms as well in the future in regard to staking. But yeah, if you haven't heard of Cometa, they're a pretty interesting platform that right now they just pretty much have staking live, but they've got some other features which would be really great for the ecosystem coming live in the next month or two. Yeah, we'll put out that tweet literally after the space is over. That's when we're scheduling it. So check them out. It's a pretty good platform, good team, and we wanted to partner them for two reasons basically. One was AlgoStake's a great platform, but it's technically more of like a Web 2 platform. The staking doesn't actually count for Algorand TVL, and it's also controlled by people over smart contracts, and so for whatever reason they kept turning our pools off even though they were still funded. I'm not sure if it was a coding glitch or if it was, I'm not sure what it was, but it was very frustrating for not only us but obviously the whole community. And so with pools set up via smart contract, it's a lot more clear how long they're going to run. There's no potential issue that they're going to get pulled down for some reason. So it's just you know, and then of course it counts for Algorand TVL as well. So it's just a bit better for you know, everyone involved, and definitely going to explore ways of working with AlgoStake in the future. I know they've got some updates coming, and then there's other great platforms to farm on, right? You know, there's a good number. So you know, definitely we'll be exploring those other partnerships as well, to, you know, bring more folks to the table and get more folks on the platform. So definitely should be some really exciting news regarding that coming by the end of the month, as we you know, get out the testnet for V2. V2, assuming all of our audits and testnet go really well, and you know, just should be a really strong close of the year for us and for all of our users.
All right, cheers for your answer, man. Awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you participating, and definitely excited for everyone to check out the next version. Right, I tweeted out some mock-ups of the testnet, but again, I guess it would have been like mock-ups of mainnet, but again, we're just super excited to put out testnet this week. It's such a massive upgrade, and again, when we were first building for Algorand, right, we were unfunded and we were building for an ecosystem where there was no DeFi live, right? So now that DeFi has become a lot more developed, there's a lot more people participating, the conversation has evolved so much. We've you know, we're still focusing on decentralized money and trying to increase composability for Algorand, right? But the ways that we're doing that are a lot more sophisticated and should add a lot more value for our users. So I'm super excited because I think that, you know, in conjunction with what's going on with Algorand, you know, there's so many great projects coming out and partnerships being announced. And again, obviously FIFA is a very big one, and I think, you know, we really still have no idea of knowing how big or not that's going to be. You know, we're all hoping for the best, but regardless of how that goes, there's still other big rumored partnerships. There's still all the things that each one of these DeFi protocols is doing. There's new other platforms that are coming to Algorand, right? There's still about 5,000 different, you know, calling them companies in every instance isn't quite accurate, right? But about 5,000 groups building on Algorand doing really exciting things, and that number is only going up, right? So I think this fall and early winter could be a really exciting time for Algorand, and we're definitely excited to be part of the catalysts that are upcoming. And so definitely, again, without giving too much away, I definitely think people should be participating in the initiatives they're putting out there, and you know, definitely trying to get on V2 once it's out there, get on testnet, etc., because we're definitely going to be trying to make it worth everybody's while to you know, have been with us for as long as they've been, and then you know, supporting us in the future, right? And again, regardless of if it's a bull market or a bear market, we're, you know, we've not stopped building every day, and really working hard to try to get things you know, done for Algorand and make you know, the token, of course, have more utility in the short term. I mean, in the long term, I think everybody sees the tremendous utility for Algo, but we got to make sure that, you know, we protect Algo and uplift the technology and advocate for it in the meantime. So yeah, I don't know. Things have been going really well for us. Getting back to governance, so definitely would love to hear if anybody has questions about the current vote. Right, definitely. I think it's surprising to see the breakdown of the votes, that folks are a lot more in favor of DEXs getting to participate in governance, but not platforms like, you know, like ours, folks, AlgoFi, and then the, you know, there's going to be HomeFi at some point, Ally Protocol, and more. I'm super surprised to see that folks want DEXs to be able to vote, but not other platforms. And the thing that's a bit confusing to me as well, as I kind of saw these two measures as working together. Like it kind of seemed like if B, or not B, but if measure 2 is going to pass, that it would need measure 1 to pass also. So definitely very interesting. So anyway, would love to hear people's thoughts on that. I know we heard from AP about it, and there's definitely plenty of folks left to vote. Right, there's still over half the governors who haven't voted, and about 3/4 of the stake that was committed to governance and is still eligible. So there's definitely still some time to go on the vote.
Yeah, I think maybe like somebody should write an article saying like giving the benefits of like voting for maybe like whatever like they are like in the first governance. I still remember like Arrington Capital has written a very good article regarding why we should vote A rather than B, and then like the tables turned. So like a good article explaining these things would be a great thing, I think.
Yeah, that's good feedback. Let's think about writing a good Twitter thread, but maybe we can do an article instead.
Yeah, Twitter thread will do good, I think. So like once like these discussions are happening, then a Twitter thread will like give people more awareness, and like people will be more interested in reading them because the governance period is going on, and that will be a great thing. And then the people who have not voted will like rethink about their voting strategy, and that will, I think, resulting in a favorable voting. And I think this kind of whatever is being proposed, I think will certainly be taking our TVL to maybe 630, that is 650, right? 650 million is what we require to be in the top 10, I believe. Yeah, I think 650 is what we require, because I have been like I looked into DeFi Llama maybe last month. So like 10th protocol in the total value locked, I think is at 645 million. I think it might have changed a little bit here and there, but that's where we have to reach if we are like if Algorand is planning to be in the top 10 in TVL.
Yeah, top 10 is definitely a great first goal to get there. And the thing that's interesting about Algorand, of course, is that we still have a lot of protocols that have yet to go live, or that have yet to really kind of come into a more final form, right? So there's still a lot of development happening, and we're already about halfway there, right? Because the thing about TVL is, obviously, if we were in the market months and months ago, then TVL everywhere would be much higher, and all of that. And so I think there's kind of two things missing, right? It's we definitely need more protocols that are helping bring people to the conversation, bring people into Algorand, and encourage more people to participate in regards to their algos, right? Bringing them into the conversation and making them part of the TVL. But the other thing is, more protocols usually mean more composability and more opportunities to kind of make each algo go further, right? I mean, there's like kind of like an easy way and a hard way, right? Like, you could either take all of your algos and use them on one protocol and kind of not interact with other protocols, or of course now you can actually, if you're strategic about it, take your algos and make them count in very many places, depending on how you deploy them, right? And the way we've kind of designed our V2 is to be extra composable, and we'll be using different platforms wrapped algos once we feel that they're safe, and then at some point this will be something that our community will vote on, right? It'll be something that happens programmatically, It's not going to be something that we have any say in, right? It'll just be the holders will be able to decide how that works out. But again, what's exciting though is as more protocols kind of become more full-fledged, get their native tokens out there, and create more ways of working together, it will make it easier to get that TVL number higher, even if we don't have necessarily more algos participating. But really, the big thing is yeah, we once the bridges come and once we get more users to participate, and we create better opportunities, and we have more money in the system, then yeah, we should definitely be able to get to that. Essentially doubling our TVL. It's a little bit more than doubling, but we should be able to get to that doubling TVL relative to the rest of the DeFi ecosystem, all these different chains that have pretty massive TVL, right? And I think it's definitely interesting because there's TVL and there's also like ratios, right? And seeing the ratio of market cap to TVL, and I still think something that we've been talking about for a long time, and something that would make protocols like ours a lot more relevant is actually moving governance to being totally on chain, right? That's really I think beyond all these votes, beyond everything else, the biggest thing that's going to overnight change Algorand, make more people potentially interested in voting, not voting, excuse me, but participating in DeFi or being more comfortable using different DeFi protocols is going to be moving governance totally on chain, right? If we take governance on chain and you have to put your algos in a smart contract to participate in governance, no matter if you vote with the foundation directly or if you vote through a different protocol, that means that all those algos are going to be counted as TVL, right? Even if they're not specifically in DeFi, right? Because they're going to be locked on chain through the foundation smart contracts. And so, again, this period we have almost 4 billion algos committed. And a number of those, obviously an increasing number are committed through DeFi platforms. It's about 300, 400 million algos. But again, if we had an extra 3 billion algos counting towards our TVL, right, that's a very big sum that would go towards our TVL and get us to be a top 10 chain by those metrics that AP was sharing. So yeah, AP, if you want to chat, keep going.
Yeah, so like what is stopping? I was listening to Massimo in this Algo fam chat on Sundays. Like the Algorand Foundation is, I think, still working on a smart contract platform that will facilitate governance via smart contracts. So, what do you think is stopping them from implementing it? Like, do you find any difficulties?
Yeah, well, the problem is there's several, right? Number one, I know that the literal immediate hang-up was when they implemented Xgov, which still isn't really live, but when that was voted past, that created an issue because essentially they had to change the smart contracts, right? They had to actually write them differently to accommodate Xgov. And then in general, what's tough is moving totally on chain means that we have to essentially make everything happen programmatically. Like any updates to Algorand that need to happen, they would have to happen programmatically. And then of course there's an issue of controlling the measures that get put forward and all that as well. I'm sure the foundation is still a bit hesitant to give up some of that control, and so I think that they should definitely make there be somewhere on chain where you need like some smart contract somewhere where you need to stake these algos in order to participate. I think that it's a no-brainer and they should be doing this. even if it's not the final form of how this is going to look, even if it's not the end result of how we're going to be making governance happen, right? I think that they should still be able to change the way the contracts work in the future, right? But in the meantime, still make it so that people participating in governance need to interact with some kind of smart contract and contribute to these on-chain metrics. But I know that in the meantime, right, every time there's a massive change that we vote on, that means they're going to have to look at the code again that's been changed, submit the code to all the appropriate places to make sure it gets looked at. I know that depending on the platform that that Algorand is partnered with, like depending on the exchange, these massive upgrades actually need to be approved by the exchanges as well. So that can be a problem as well. So there's all these different hurdles, and so then every time that there becomes change, it kind of sets us back to square one. And so I think that there need to be just some intermediate steps taken, because Algorand likes to do everything perfectly when it happens. Like every time they want to put something out there, it needs to be done perfectly, and I feel like this is one of those things where it needs to be done safely and securely, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the final form of how it's going to work. But making an upgrade would definitely make sense at this point to at least try to get these algos to count toward TVL, right? We need to do that, and then again, as a TVL metric compared to how many algos there are and how much all those algos are worth compared to the TVL, it would certainly help that ratio for us as well, which I think is definitely an important number. The ratio is important, just like the actual TVL number. And so showing that not only is there a lot of capital deployed, but it's also a very active community, right? The community is actually very active in this deployment. I think that's also very important, right? Because kind of the higher that ratio goes, then the more undervalued algos might look to outside users and have them be more likely to come on and check out the ecosystem, right? And again, that's our biggest priority with V2 really, is to create a way that should be really easy for folks to come on board, create a platform that's going to look as analogous to other platforms as and I don't mean in look and feel, but in terms of products offered, right? To create this platform that has products that people not only recognize but want to use, right? That they've grown accustomed to on other chains, and trying to make things as easy and intuitive as possible. Because again, I think that we love our V1. It's been instrumental for us to get to where we are today, and it's absolutely had an impact and a voice in the conversation of how Algorand DeFi has been shaping up. But again, some people think it's not straightforward enough to use. Maybe there's not enough resources, deep enough liquidity. All these different issues are going to be hopefully remedied with V2. And the way we've designed it from a user experience perspective is there's kind of like an expert mode and kind of a beginner mode, right? And so if you're wanting help, the platform's actually going to kind of tell you what everything is, where to start, where to go after you've taken different actions, so it should literally educate users how to use the platform. I'm sure there will be similarities that could be applied to other platforms, right? And help people learn about how things might work on other platforms as well. And so we're just super excited to get out there, and we think the audits are going to go great. We think that testnet should be pretty solid, but again, obviously we're going to once we get these things on testnet and mainnet, make sure that they get appropriately vetted before we totally open the floodgates on V2. But very very confident about everything so far, and we've done a great job so far. Also, just so far with V1, making sure that nothing goes catastrophically wrong. Right, so far so good on the smart contracts and everything like that. So we're optimistic and pretty confident that everything should be good for V2 as well, and we'll be starting that audit in a couple of days. Go for it.
Yeah, and one other thing I just wanted to mention quickly is that we're doing these different marketing campaigns, giving away GARD, potentially giving away gain through Gleam campaigns. And what that basically means for our community is that we're getting a lot more people joining our Discord servers, Telegram, etc. So when we do launch the testnet, we definitely would love to get as much feedback from you all as soon as we can. And probably the best way for you all to do that is we now have this verified holders channel on Discord. You basically can just verify that you either hold GARD, Gain, or Guardian, and then you'll be able to jump into that channel. But yeah, would really love to get as much feedback from you all as possible. I know that we got a little bit of feedback once Riley tweeted out some of the screenshots of the mock-ups of the platform. But yeah, once we launch that, would definitely love to just continue the conversation with you all. AP, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, so when is the expected launch of V2? Like, do you have any plan or dates in mind?
Yeah, end of the month is when it's planned. We want first, it's already written, but we want to really make sure that the front end is really smooth and useful, right? We want to make sure that when we bring people on board, that the front end is working really well. And so on testnet, it definitely won't be perfect, right? But that's kind of the limiting reagent right now, is making sure we connect everything properly. And then again, we're going to be doing our audit. It starts in a couple days. So the audit is limiting reagent, and just making sure that we actually execute on making the platform easy to use and look really clean. Those are the two things we're waiting for. But again, it should be either end of this month or first week of October. And we'll definitely be communicating that better once testnet's live, right? We like to kind of keep the things small and to our immediate community, because we want the people who participate in testnet and other things to be really our close community. And then once mainnet's ready, that's when we want to get everything out there to be a lot bigger and all of that. But we definitely want to focus on our main community at this point, and make sure that the folks who are in our Discords, Telegrams, Twitter Spaces, all of that, are the first ones to know about everything that's going on. And the last thing we want to do as well is put out things that that don't end up happening, right? But we're very confident about getting V2 out by the end of the month, and that's going to start with testnet in the next couple of days this week. So we'll definitely be putting out a lot of info about that, and we're just super excited. Because like I've said, I think we've contributed to the community in a lot of different ways, and we've pushed different protocols in a lot of different ways. But I really think that this is going to be what kind of pushes GARD up to the top, and gets gets a lot more interest into the platform, and I don't know. I'm just super excited. I think everybody's going to be really blown away with how well things go, and I'm just excited to share with everybody, and I know everybody on the team is as well.
Yeah, all the very best for the V2 launch. We are also excited to see GARD in the top of the DeFi platforms in Algorand, and Algorand has a long way to go. I think maybe with all these DeFi platforms and protocols coming in, I think we are ready. Maybe last time we didn't had much of a DeFi, but when we compare with 2021, like we are far ahead, and like we can see a lot of, even in the NFT ecosystem, like, and also DeFi, we are growing step by step, and that's a sustainable growth. And I was looking at the graphs, and graphs are very sustainable even for the NFT ecosystem. Like, yeah, that's something that like I would like to see. And like slow, when we grow slow, like we will remain there. Like when, if we grow fast, then there are chances that we will come down fast, but that's not the case with Algorand, and that makes me even more optimistic about Algorand.
Yeah, I think there's lots of things to be excited about. Something else I was going to talk about, just in regard to our Gleam campaign, is we're planning on launching one that's a bit more substantive. With our V2 launch, right now we launched one to learn, to get folks, again, to get some more folks paying attention to what we're doing and participating. But again, would definitely love everyone to check it out, give us feedback. The biggest thing that helps us right now is writing blog posts about GARD, right? Again, like if we're going to be successful, it's going to be because of the community, right? It's very cliche, and it's people say it over and over again, so I feel like sometimes it loses its weight. But again, participating in the things we're doing, right now the Gleam campaign, and writing blog posts is kind of like the most important item on our whole campaign. Talking about the platform in different places. I mean, that's what's going to help bring more people to the conversation, get more people excited about GARD, and get more people into the space, right? Because we have to, not only get AlgoFam to the table and get them excited to use our platform, and quite frankly, the other platforms as well, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're partnering with Cometa, right? Bringing more people to the conversation over there, getting more people to know about Cometa, right? Not only do we need to support the platforms that are currently launched and bring the current community into these platforms, but we also really need to, the more noise we make, as cliche as it is, that's what brings new people to the conversation as well, right? And that's what's just as important as getting all the current people into Algorand. It's also bringing new people into Algorand and showing them, hey, there's a great community here. Hey, there's exciting things going on. Hey, by using these different platforms, I'm actually benefiting. And so that's kind of the other step in the process right now that we need to take advantage of. And so again, helping us with our campaign or helping out with other campaigns is also going to be really, really important to ensure that there's some success. And in the spirit of again trying to help overall platform growth, I try to literally use every DeFi platform on Algorand. I'm not positive I've used every single one. I've certainly used all the ones that are listed on DeFi Llama, but I've used ones that are not on DeFi Llama as well, because again, I'm trying to support Algorand. But I've been using FXDX just a bit in this most recent dip, and definitely I think the platform's a little bit not intuitive in regard to how to make how to benefit, right, from being a liquidity provider on FXDX, but their platform rakes up an insane amount of fees, and there's definitely an incredibly high APR if you want to be a liquidity provider to FXDX right now. So it's something to check out. I definitely hope to see them list on DeFi Llama soon. That would be really cool, just to get another protocol out there. Just have more things looking cool for Algorand. But if you don't want to trade, there's still some cool opportunities on FXDX. If you want to be a liquidity provider, the APY is very high, and that's part of how they're planning on decentralizing their token. again, definitely read into it. Like I said, it's not 100% straightforward. Like I don't think that using their platform for anything but making trades is necessarily intuitive from a first glance. So I'm not, do your own research. Don't do anything without making sure you understand what you're doing. And again, I don't know the team over there or anything, but was trying out another Algorand platform. Definitely think there's some opportunities on there, and encourage folks to at least check it out, right, and keep supporting all these different platforms, right? Check out Cometa. Literally, I think most folks here probably have some Guardian or Guard to stake, so definitely check out Cometa, get on there, and keep participating in staking Guardian. We should have some pretty exciting updates to our Guardian program by the end of the month as we announce some new partnerships and perhaps some new incentives, right? And so yeah, just I would say to everyone, keep trying stuff out, talk about what you like, talk about what you don't like, and just keep the competition going between all the current and future Algorand protocols, because there's just again, like right now there's 10. I think in the next couple of months there could very easily be 20 or 30 on DeFi Llama, right? It's going to happen that quickly. So again, supporting folks now, building up the hype now, getting even more people to start building now. It's going to be super valuable for the future whenever the next big bull market comes in. And again, we don't know when that's going to be. It could be in a couple of months, or it could be in over a year, most likely. Again, it could be more than a year, but that would be really shocking, I would say. But yeah, anyway, AP, go for it. I think we should wrap up shortly, but definitely again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But yeah, I have seen maybe like the post of Algorand. Actually, the new update has come where like state proofs have been implemented and the performance updates have happened. Like I have just like pinned the tweet from Algorand where there is a Medium article like depicting the same for the people who are in the listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a wonderful conversation. Thank you for these spaces. Yeah, I think you people used to do it every Wednesday. So maybe from next Wednesday onwards, I'll certainly try to participate. But usually, actually, we used to have an A for Algorand spaces. But I think, I'll certainly come and be a part of this discussion every Wednesday.
Yeah, well, we never stopped doing it on Wednesday, actually. So definitely, if you have time, keep coming by. Tell more people to come by. Share our reminder tweets about it. That'd be super helpful for us. We're here for the community, right? That's why we're here every Wednesday. That's why we're building a new version of GARD. And that's why we're doing everything we're doing, right, to build up Algorand and try to add value. So definitely keep coming if you've got time. We really appreciate everybody who comes to these spaces. Love hearing people chat in them and giving feedback. We used to have Oyster in here every week. He would give a lot of discussion points. We had devs.algo kind of voicing their frustration with everything going on as well, actually, before the big Twitter space where they went after Massimo and everyone. We had them saying kind of similar points and arguing with Oyster in our Twitter space earlier that week. So, our space has been going every Wednesday for a while, and we're definitely going to keep trying to keep the space open to keep the discussion going. It's super important, and we're always really, really happy when people come into the space. It makes us really happy to see that. So really appreciate everyone being here, and we can chat again in a couple of days, I guess a week from now. So we'll chat then. I'll try to write a good thread. So hopefully, excuse me, hopefully it gets shared around. But I'll think about writing a good thread on Twitter for people to share around. I'm sure we'll throw it onto Reddit as well. Try to get some of those points across about why we need to actually vote yes for Measure 1. And we'll chat again soon. Thanks, everyone.